emergency of the chaos of the firing of the people in America. We need to come to a peace agreement right away and restore this. Thank you very much. This is Lucia Arden.
His slash and burn of bureaucracy, and now federal workers caught up in Trump's mass layoffs are unsure of what to do next. Good afternoon, everyone.
We need to come back to the table and review those people firing.
Of the Trump-Musk effect and its aggressive effort to shrink the federal workforce.
We have to realize that we need to have people for production. I understand if there's crimes and there's incompetency and low work production, we need to come and look at that with a fine-tooth comb. And the criminals, of course, we have to address, but the people that have been there for years, when you fire them, there's not jobs they could readily get. They only have certain type of skills, and they need to be treated appropriately. And when you fire the people, then they have to get unemployment. Then we have to pay unemployment. But if we transfer them into a better position and retrain them and give them a probation period, if you feel they're not working to the utmost, I understand that. You're correct. We need to give them training. There's many jobs across each state that needs to be done when we restore our America. I believe our America, I agree with President Trump. I agree with President Trump totally that this is just a transition period and we're going to get on our feet because we're trying to find all the crimes in every office, in every place. But we need to make sure that we, all these people that we are firing, that we don't fire them, only the ones that are crime, and then the ones that don't, that have crimes, and the others, we could develop them. Because you know how it is, when we have production, we make funds, and not unless you're gonna all rehire them back, but then we're gonna have problems paying them, and then we have the immigrants that we have to address their issues. And we need to come together in truth right away. And it's not the American people's fault that these things have happened. Since 2012, I said to check the offices. In my book in 2012, in an article, I said to check all the offices, but I said to treat the people with respect, peace, justice, restoration, and forward building.
We just have no information. We were just basically tossed out on the streets. And so that has been angering and heartbreaking. And our pay stopped the day we got the termination letters.
See, the thing is, we need to, this is not right. This is not right. Of course, we know we're human beings. We all make mistakes. And you're right, President Trump. There are some people that don't do their job, okay? But then those are not 80,000 people that we're firing. You cannot do that. And a lot of these are veterans that are being fired, that work on the workforce, that have come back and have issues with their medical because of their dangers that they did for us in America. Because many of these are veterans that we're firing. We can't. The veterans gave our life to protect us. We need to make sure they're taken care of. It's interesting because I said $16 billion was given to the immigrants to come here and $6 billion only to the veterans. So many of these people that you're letting go are veterans. So we have to support the veterans that have all these contraindications and give them what they need to survive. But let's continue, please.
So we're all without a paycheck as of Tuesday.
And today, sources inside the Federal Aviation Administration tell ABC that hundreds of workers were let go despite massive staffing issues at the FAA. The union's president calling the decision unconscionable, especially in the wake of 3 deadly plane accidents.
And I know they use that example, 3 deadly plane accidents. Something probably got into the system, because they said they got all the systems. They were able to get systems for the Air Force. And so there was some terrible things that happened. And that's why when we're taking the right of the people and exposing them and looking at all their information, from their taxes, from all the information of who they are, all the employees, all the way from having the power to look at all the airlines and the planes and so forth and all these different offices. We need to use good judgment, and we need to use swift judgment that's neutral, in a sense, that's powerful, of justice at the highest. And it's not firing everyone off, because you're going to have to pay them. You're going to have to pay them unemployment, correct? They're going to have to get unemployment checks. But I'm sure, not 90% do their work, okay? I believe, okay? And then you have 10% of crime and others that need to be on probation. But you need to bring those people back right away and give them jobs. Is that what you're going to do? I hope. Because we have so many jobs that need to be done in our America. It's not all about robots. We have all our ecosystems that need to be fixed, our building, our communities, our schools. There's so many things that need to be fixed. Alone, I saw the sewage in a city that needs to be all restructured, and all the waters. I told you all the water has to be fixed. All the schools need waters. Many things that need to be fixed in our country. All the infrastructure from electricity, water, gas, in the agriculture. And we could train the people to help us be more efficient. And then we're going to bring all our small, large businesses back. So let's continue.
In the past month. Also today, billionaire Elon Musk targeting access to detailed financial information about U.S. taxpayers at the IRS. Our Jay O'Brien usually covers the Hill, but today he is in the middle of a protest over these mass layoffs. Jay, tell us about where you are.
Yeah, we are standing just in view of the Capitol, Kira, and you can hear the chant actually go up around me of "Do your job," and that is in reference to the protesters tell us here, the people who work in this building right here, the United States Capitol. We've also heard of chant after chant of where is Congress, asking for some kind of congressional oversight into this.
And the thing is that the Congress and the House, they make so much money. I saw someone was going to get, they make so much money because they all think about the stocks. You know, they know what stocks are going to go up. I mean, they have so many benefits. I know that this is not off the subject. You know, they make money, they're taken care of, they have their 401ks. We need to take care of the masses of the people. This is not fair. And Mr. Fink is, and I asked him to come on board also. I asked Mr. Fink, you could see in my work, my name's Lucia Arden. I also asked Elon Musk to, but I wanted to be directly on the team to look at the details, because I'm a supply chain economist, but I'm a political analyst to critically look at a situation and put the people first in justice, but with facts, not with rhetoric, not with hope, but to see in the future of the contraindications. And just like I asked Fink to come back, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, we need help to bring the people jobs and give them homes back. And he's right about we need the workers, the immigrants, to do the agriculture. But where are they now? Okay, Mr. Fink? Are we going to build more agriculture? That's fine. And there's so much, the food systems have to be changed. That alone, there needs to be a system to change all the food systems with RFK, which I talked about for years, because my area of work also expert is in medical and vaccinations and geopolitical powers. But the food systems alone, all those need to be checked. Do you have any food system companies that need to be relocated and checked? So many things. We need to bring back our pharmaceuticals. There's so many jobs. There's enough jobs, but you can't just fire the people. You need to give them a transition period. They should have had a training, because now they're going to waste time. You cannot waste time. You need to go back and get them in, because you could give them training. This is a good idea. Instead of fire them and give them training and prepare for your next work. This is very serious. It needs to be done, because when you do production, you need workforce. Okay? And then you're going to have to rehire them. And most of these people don't have jobs of the cutting edge of education, so they need to be trained. But on the other hand, they have valuable skills that can never be forgotten.
This massive overhaul of the federal government that President Trump and Elon Musk are engineering. There are federal workers here in the crowd. Some of them have even been fired in recent days, they tell us. And one of the sentiments we hear from those here is A, of course, opposition to this effort of Trump and Musk to overhaul the federal government, but also a sense that this is far from over yet. I've talked to people here. I've also talked to people across the country, federal workers, who say it's their understanding from talking to their colleagues and seeing these actions that this is only one of the early phases of these terminations, Kira, and they are preparing for many more.
This is not good, and we have to be careful because there could be a revolution. And President Trump, we had an agreement that we're going to take care of our military first. And I hear there's a lot of military.
Elon Musk and Doge now seeking access to personal tax.
And we cannot do this. We need to come together in truth and reconciliation about what we're going to do. So what are we going to do? We're going to come together and work together and save our country. So we need to bring those people back to the table. And we need to have income of our country making businesses and trading income. Otherwise, you're going to have all the money to the upper 1%, and then you're going to have the lower level of economy, and you don't have middle class or upper middle class. It cannot be done. We need to come together and work together. So do you have a plan where you're going to reinstate all these people with new jobs and form the jobs later? We need to form the jobs now. We could, they could start being educated. So go take them back, put them back in their positions, and start forming jobs for them right now in education. This has to be done right away. And there's so many jobs that have to be done. Just alone, all the inner cities have to be fixed. There's many things, all the water systems, electricity, I told you, the gas, the children's education. We need to come together right away. Thank you so much. God bless you. This is Lucia Arden. Please look me up. My book is God First, America, Our Miracle. God First, America, Our Miracle. Justice First, America, Our Miracle. And in God's power, America Save Our Legacy. In justice, power, America Save Our Legacy. This is very serious, and this is a rise to God's truth. It shows all the good work that President Trump did when he was in practice in 2016 in the team, and what we need to do to correct our inner cities or schools. Alone, there's many jobs for the schools. We need to bring back our schools. We need to protect our children. The children are first. We need to make sure that they have proper lunch and foods and education and systems where they have ability to have education in the right way and in freedom to learn. I'm a consultant, advisor, and politician for solutions analyst and geopolitical specialist. There's my book, Our Need to Give to the World. This is a second edition. This talks about America, and many things were used. At the time when I wrote my second edition, 2018-19, I was interviewed by American thought leaders, which is now the main force of Epic Newspaper. And Epic Newspaper followed a lot of my ideas on my book that it seemingly when they began, which was beautiful, but I didn't get chosen for the American thought leader. And we need to come together, and we have an imbalance of distribution of funds to upper class, middle class, and lower class. We have to be careful not to become a one world government or a Roman Empire because of the ramifications that it causes, losing freedom, land, humanity, family, and even war. In a divine message, the Lord said, I love America. Let's work together to bring all those to the heart of God in Christ. And we did have, and even Reagan talks about this, about we are a God-given country. We don't want to be controlled by evil, which is communism or one world government. But we have a Continental Congress prayer of 1774 that we have a covenant with God. But we need to come together and work together in America and save our country. We need to save our country. Whether we are believers or not, we have a legacy of our forefathers and our children's future, which we need to take care of. We cannot just let all those people go. We need to come together with truth. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to buy the Lifeway stem cell, it's an excellent company that's been in the United States for 20 years, and it's excellent. It's a stem cell patch you put on your body, a small patch, and then it stimulates your stem cells Please look me up, Lisa Lucia Arden, lifewave.com, First Healthy Truth. And you can see it on my website, lisaluciarden.com. God bless you. Thank you so much. So let's get back here and see the truth about what's happening. And I want to show you that these people are living now. Most of these federal people, I bet you, they're living month to month. Month to month. They live month to month because when they were laid off on the CCP, they didn't work and they had to use their funds. We have to be careful because where are they going to get their money to live? A poverty sentence, here's why some say losing a federal job is worse than being fired in a private sector. Most of them are so used to certain products that they work with and process, and they don't have the cutting edge of the information. And it's we need to go back and protect these people. I disagree. I don't think we should have main layoffs. I think we need to look at the criminals and see and take them out. And if we're going to get tariffs and other things, and by not paying these criminals, we already saved money. So why do injustice to American people and just fire many as a whole? Transition them, teach them, educate them, and put them in different positions. So please, I beg you, because many of these workers, they live month to month. God bless you. This is Lisa Lucia Arden, and let's see what else I could show you here today. That this is a very serious thing.
Republicans were united in passing a spending bill, and now Senate Republicans need 8 Democrats to join them to advance that measure. Only one House Democrat split from his party to help pass the resolution. The Hill is highlighting Democrats' anxiety ahead of this vote.
And the Democrats, they should think about, and the people, they had the open borders. And we should never have open borders. We put $60 billion in the immigrants already, and only $6 billion in America, okay? $6 billion in American veterans. And when they said when they were going to fire 80,000 people, that part of those are veterans that need help, health help because of their contraindications when they serve the nation. We need to come together in truth and reconciliation right away. Right away.
All Senate offices are getting a whole lot of calls from senior citizens who are experiencing a great deal of fear and anxiety.
See, this is not good. This is crime. This is torture. Our people, the senior citizens, don't need. And many of the very wealthy are doing so well because much of the funds were transferred to the wealth when we had CCP. And just like Benson said, that the 10% are doing well, but 50% are crushed. But now it's more because they're losing their jobs. We need to bring them back. So we need to protect with Social Security, and we need to bring those jobs back, the people back.
For all of the confusion and chaos that is currently going on here in Washington.
See, we realize when you correct something that there's going to be chaos. But in the chaos, bring beauty, bring justice, bring truth and peace and restoration and forward building. Because when you fire all the people and they're sitting there sedentary, not only do you have a stoppage of production, you also have the spirit of life, death. You also bring the spirit of life of death. So why would you fire people that have a good output? Even if they have an 80 or 70% output, it's still there. You're losing the workforce. You need to bring those people back. So this is very important. Did you hear what I said? Though you need to bring those people back. It's better to have a 70 to 80% workforce than no workforce. Then you're going to have to pay unemployment. And you, in the same time, you could give those people a job to find out for statistics and study what needs to be changed in their system, and look at the systems that need to be changed and what needs to be restored and what needs to be taken care of in our new technological world. So did you hear what I said? You need to bring those people back. And it's not what I said. These are facts. These are facts, and these are Socratic method. It's not a rhetoric. So you're going to be losing when you fire the people, and they're going to sedentary. Plus, you're going to have to pay unemployment, and plus there's no production. It's better to have 70, even 60% production if they're not perfect. And you're getting the criminals out. You're saving money, and at the same time, you could ask them to do their own study already. They're the one that could plan it because they know better about the office than you. And then we could assess it and look what's best and get assessors to assess what changes do need to be made. But no, we need to realize, of course, there's going to be chaos and imbalance. That's what I said. But we need to do things in justice.
When we have the president and my Republican colleagues talking about cutting Medicaid by some $880 billion.
In the Medicaid, we have to be very careful. I worked in medical practice for 20 years, and we need to make sure the children and people are taken care of Medicaid. That is terrible. You could have diseases plant over across the nations, the country, if you don't take care of your health issues. And there's no reason why we cannot deliberate Medicaid. The Medicaid, you're going to see them out loud, a lot of the crimes in offices and hospitals, but the people need to be taken care of. This is not the people's problems. This is the politicians that cheated and lied on the people and hurt the people, and also the geopolitical powers. Just like President Trump said with the tariffs, I agreed, the globalization. And in 2016, when I wrote my first book, Jews own most of our country, 60%, and then the rest was European. They kept on buying European, bought our land, bought our practices, but they didn't put money back in on volunteer. Most of them volunteer in helping, like Sorosos. He wants to bring us down, just like Elon Musk saw in trying to bring Elon Musk down. But Elon, I ask you, I beg you to let's re-instigate these people back in and use the production, even if they're 70%, and have them find now what we're going to work on to develop our countries. And there's so many work jobs that need to be done. Otherwise, it's going to be too many problems at many, many levels.
$1 billion. Let us be clear. They are not just talking about throwing millions of children and others off of the health insurance they have. They are also talking about cuts to community health centers.
And this is very serious. We need to make sure the children have their insurance. You know, how true is this that Bernie is saying? Are these cuts all being made? And the community services need to be done. We have mostly, remember, we have, since the COVID, the CCP, and our own man, Fauci and Obama knew about it, our own politicians, and they got away with it. They destroyed and hurt the people. And Pfizer made, I thought it was 20 people became billionaires for Pfizer, 40 people became billionaires. Why don't you go after that money and mediate with them, and they have to give you some money back, each one of those 40 billionaires that made money with Pfizer, and then you could help pay for the people. But the Medicaid has to be taken care of. We need to take care of the children. In some of those community service places, they're for the very poor, where they even throw drugs in to ruin the inner cities. And there's hardly any more middle class. It's very low, and lower middle class is mostly just the lower socioeconomical level. And I know some services like transgenderism and abortions, you know, they have questions, but we need to be honest and true. So why don't you go to Pfizer and then increase taxes on the rich? Even though the rich are paying mostly the taxes, but why don't you go back to Pfizer? Did you see that 40 became billionaires because of the money they made from the vaccines? I didn't see any of that. Go get that money. You know, this is very, very serious. Let's go on.
Which receive about 43% of their funding from Medicaid, and where millions of seniors go to get their primary care.
See, they also get their primary care from Medicare. The seniors are our life, our roots. We have to treat them with a beautiful, beautiful love. We don't hear that word in politics, love. So then let's word of justice. We need to come to justice. This is a command, justice.
So cutting Medicaid impacts primary care. At a time when we have a major crisis.
And because I know they use Medicaid and they have insurance because the prices are so high, so they use both. And this has to be done. And we have nursing homes. We have many, many things of our elderly. We have children. We need to bring justice, and I believe we could do this.
In nursing home availability. I know that's true in Vermont. I expect it's true in almost every state in the country. Let us understand that Medicaid provides approximately 2 out of 3 seniors with the funding they need.
And then the billionaires, maybe they would be very generous and work with us. Do they receive these qualifications to get these fundings? That they get benefits? We need to come together and work together in truth and love and justice. Thank you so much. God bless you. We need to take care of our people. We need to take care of the people, okay? And going back to this, and I want to show you this. It's terrible. We spent, just like JFK said, we spent so much money on the war with Hurricane, which I believe that we should have helped Hurricane because of Putin. But I believe, as I told you, that we could come together and make negotiations. But we spent more money on this war that could have paid for all the homeless across the nation, United States. Think about our country. Think. And we were making all those military tools. We need to come together and stop this war as soon as possible. And I believe we have to ask for the commodities. We have to ask for the business deal and bring that money back to the people and put the people back in their jobs and back in their homes. And right away, we need to make a negotiation and with Putin also. But I believe we need to give him a guarantee. And I believe we need to give Putin, even if we have to give Putin more to stop the war, we need to. But remember, just as RFK said, we spend more money on the war and we could have spent all the money for the homeless. We need to realize we need to put our thoughts in the American people, but be diplomatic, as I said. And they began because I gave them the plan, Lucia Arden. You could see it on my Facebook. It shows right there to ask to exchange for commodities and also land easements and business deals. And we would be able to stop the war. So let's all do that and bring that money back to our country. And it's not blackmail. It's not using them. And where are all the military tools? I want all the military tools back. And I hear they're selling them to other places. That has to be done. And I asked that early on last year or when the war began. So remember, let's come back together and take care of our American people. We need to take care of the American people. We need to take care of the American people.
Government workers reeling from the chaos of the Trump-Musk effect and its aggressive effort to shrink the federal workforce.
We just have no information. We were just basically tossed out on the streets. And so that has been angering and heartbreaking. And our pay stopped the day we got the termination letter. So
see, this is not right. So we need to work on this right away.